Real Talk Live with Rodney Grimes. People to people, power to power, positive thinking people. Yes, with Sir Rod and Lady Z. It's not about you, it's not about me, it's about we. In God we trust. Positive thinking people. Positive thinking people. Positive thinking people. Every Monday night, every Wednesday night, every Friday night, every Monday night, every Wednesday night, every Friday night, every Monday night, every Wednesday night. PTP, positive thinking people. PTP, positive thinking people. PTP, positive thinking people. PTP, positive thinking people. Every Monday night, every
I
Wednesday night,
can.
every Friday night,
Yes,
every Monday night, every Wednesday
I
night,
can.
every
Can you hear
Friday
me
night,
well?
every Monday
Okay.
night, every Wednesday night, every Friday night.
I'm great. How are you? Okay. 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 I can. Hi. Hi. Okay.
Positive thinking people. PTP, positive thinking people. Every Monday night, every Wednesday night,
Okay.
every Friday night, every Monday night,
Okay. That's cool.
every Wednesday night, every Friday night, every Monday night,
Oh, I forgot. Let me see. Hold on. Okay.
positive thinking people.
Okay.
PTP, positive thinking people. PTP, positive thinking people. PTP, positive thinking people. Every Monday night, every Wednesday night, every Friday night, every Monday night, every Wednesday night, every Friday night, every Monday night, every Wednesday night, every Friday night. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is People to People with Rodney Grimes. Again, here we are, another blessed day. I'll tell you, it's amazing that we are in this position to still bring information, bring some positive people to you. You know what it's all about. My energy is all over the place because there's just so much going on. And so I want y'all to bear with me. I have a beautiful host that's standing by to join us shortly. But before I even go any further, first of all, I just want to just send out my heartfelt feelings and prayers to the families that lost the children yesterday. Um, I can't begin to express myself and tell you how I'm feeling because I'm trying to just absorb, where we are in this country right now, and with so many people doing things that are hurting other people. And so with me saying that, I want you to understand that we've been talking about this all month. It's mental health awareness month. So my guest, when I bring her in, her name is Dr. Tiffany Tyson. I'm going to bring her in shortly. We're going to be talking about, she's an author, but we're going to be talking about some things and just kind of just really, really open up dialogue. But again, I just want to say to the families who lost their child yesterday, my prayers are with you. I just been feeling it, and so many of us in this country are feeling the pain and the emptiness that you are feeling as parents. I don't know what it feels like, but I know that I'm hurting with you. And I just want to send that out to many people. So everyone that tuned in, this is People to People with Rodney Grimes. Please, what I want you to do is take what we do very serious. We are doing this to try to help people. We're trying to bless people. We're trying to make things become very, very available to you. And we do that through the People to People podcast. So I got some notes here, but I'm going to wait till I bring my guests in. And I would like to introduce Dr. Tiffany Tyson. So we're going to see if we can bring her in and they can tell me when she is. And I think she's already in now, right? All right. How you doing there, Dr. Tyson? How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you?
I am blessed. As you heard, and I'm sure you're aware of what took place yesterday. And this is something that I just take very, very serious. First of all, I want to say thank you for you taking the time to do the interview with us. This is actually your second time to be with us.
It is. Thank you for inviting me back.
The last time you was with us, it was Real Talk Live with Rodney Grimes. We were doing it for remote from my sitting room at my home. We now are in a studio. God has blessed us with a fantastic studio. We have an amazing team, and I can't wait because as we talk a little further on, we're going to also let people know that soon they possibly going to be able to see you in person.
Yes, yes. My bookmates and I that wrote our anthology, Reclaiming My Life, will actually be in the area in July for a book tour.
Okay. So what I would like for you to do, yeah. So you're going to see me, I'm all over the place a little bit.
Okay.
What I'd like for you to do is I would like for you to, first of all, introduce yourself just a little more in detail,
Okay.
And then also definitely make sure we be talking about your book. I'm so excited about this. Is your second book, correct?
This is actually the third book.
Oh, okay. So let me be quiet and let you do some talking.
Well, first of all, I also want to extend my condolences to the family, the staff, the community from yesterday's school shooting. As you said earlier, this is a tragedy. Unfortunately, I think this is our second shooting within less than 2 weeks. And so definitely condolences go out to the families from the grocery store a week and a half ago, and also the families in the community as well in Texas from yesterday.
Yes.
So I am a doctor of psychiatric nursing practice. I practice in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I actually see children, adolescents, and adults, individuals that are dealing with whether it's anxiety, depression, bipolar, PTSD. We also treat children that have ADHD, where they have issues with focus and concentration in school. And we do testing there as well. We have psychologists on staff. We also have case management to extend resources because individuals, they may come in for, their behavioral health, but we also look at nutrition. We look at, do they have transportation? Can they afford their their medicines, and then also if they need help with housing. So we try to treat the individual holistically, or the whole person.
That is, first of all, I just thank God for individuals like yourself. This is a mental awareness month, but mental awareness is every day. So,
Yes,
you know, and
yes,
we should be really paying close attention to the mental awareness situation with what's going on in this country, in the world. But here in the United States, we got to concentrate on right here where we are. So it's a lot of people who are dealing with that. And the thing that's so funny, I was just talking about this the other day. Many of us deal with it, like myself, from things that I dealt with as a child and being an ex-marine, and just different things. And I'm gonna keep it real. Even with the dramatic trauma that I experienced as a Black American, it puts us also in a different category as well. But when you say that you deal with individuals, how in depth does it become in your life when you see all these things with these people? I mean, how do you deal with that?
well, so practitioners as myself, we also have to take time for ourselves as well, to tend to our self-care, and making sure we have enough rest, making sure we're eating. I try to eat really healthy. I juice. I try to get my greens in, my vegetables in, and then also meditation. I always try to start the day off with something inspirational, whether it's listening to something inspirational, music or inspirational podcasts, or even reading a devotional. And so it's important to provide self care, as a clinician as well.
I'm glad you mentioned about the meditation. That's something that I'm working on with myself. One of the things that I would like to say this to the audience, for us to understand, it's up to us to become aware of our triggers, the things that causes us to have anxiety attacks and get depressed, and these things. These things can be dealt with, correct?
Right. And for instance, the shooting that happened yesterday, this may trigger some individuals. And so it's important that I think people stay informed, but they also may need to take a break from watching the media, seeing this on their phones, because this can also trigger some things for individuals that may have experienced traumas in their life. This may trigger anxiety, depression, and also checking in on the children today, and parents really sitting down and having a dialogue with them and asking them, how are they feeling. It's best for the parents to kind of have that talk first before they start seeing things on social media or different kind of posts, or different versions of the story. So it's important for parents to do a check-in, and also for staff to do a check-in as well, to see how they're feeling today. And this is not just about just this week, but it needs to kind of be ongoing, over the next three. So check in now after the immediate incident, but also 3 months later, 6 months later. So really seeing how these individuals are doing. And also the school system may have to even partner with a outside agency to be able to provide continuous care, whether it's therapy or medication for the children, the staff. That can, symptoms can sometimes, the symptoms may not come initially,
Mm-hmm.
but they may have symptoms later on, where they're having trouble sleeping, or they're feeling irritable, or they're having headaches, or they'll have a loss of appetite. And so either now, or either a few months later, they may start having separation anxiety, and being concerned about their significant family member, going to work today, even today, leaving them, if they weren't able to go to school today. And they may start not being able to sleep at night, again, having those physical symptoms. So it's important to definitely do a check-in, today, with, again, the children, the staff, the family, and to have it ongoing, and counselors be there for the students as well. And then, like I said, additional support from the community agencies.
Okay. Okay. Hold on. Stay with me. What I need to do? Oh. Okay. All right. We're gonna have
We're
to.
gonna keep talking
We're gonna.
until it ends. We're gonna have a commercial while she goes
Right.
out and comes back in.
Okay.
That's
So
what
as we noticed, it said it was giving us 10 minutes. So
Okay.
we're gonna have to come back in.
Talk until the 10
Okay.
minutes go in, and then we'll have a commercial while she logs back in.
Okay. So when we go out on the 10 minutes, then I'm gonna have you log back in. Okay. All
Okay.
right. So we'll just do a commercial break at that time.
Okay.
Just before we go into the commercial break, what I'd like to do is also, what's the name of your book that you have that you're getting ready to bring out?
Okay, so the book is entitled Reclaiming My Life, and it's a anthology. So there's 7 of us that have written this particular book, and so there's different chapters. One individual's going through homelessness. She dealt with homelessness in her lifetime, and then also there's a chapter on addictions. There's also a chapter on grief, and there's also a chapter on abuse. And my chapter is actually on There is Hope. And so, even though individuals may have experienced trauma, like the trauma we have been seeing over the last couple of weeks, there can be hope, and hope is definitely important for people to realize that.
Oh, okay. So again, for individuals dealing with this situation with the trauma, um, I mean, is it something that could really be done to help prevent this anxiety attacks and things like that?
Well, you said something really key earlier. You said identifying the triggers. So, usually in therapy sessions or even in the medication management sessions, the clinician can talk to the individual to determine what their triggers are. And so the triggers could be, for instance, going by a particular area in the community, a particular store, a particular smell, or even seeing certain things on television that can sometimes trigger, someone's anxiety or someone's PTSD symptoms.
Okay. So again, this is really a serious situation that we have to deal with. This is something been going on for many years, and there's a lot of us that are in position to really do something about it. Like yourself, being a doctor who deal with this on a daily basis, it is very important for us to take it very serious. Again, is that what some of your book is? This was going to be information that's going to help people be able to work through these situations.
Yes. So I think what's unique about this book, because I think when you hear or read about someone else that has experienced trauma, and then you read how they were able to overcome, this says, wow, if they were able to overcome, sexual abuse, if they were able to overcome drug addiction, then that person that's reading it may be dealing with the same thing. And they're like, wow, if they can overcome, I can overcome too. In my chapter, I actually talk about, from the clinician standpoint, different things that individuals can do, because everybody's treatment or healing process is different. Everybody has a different journey. Some individuals may want therapy, and there's different types of therapy. And so it's very important when they come in to see a clinician, they get a good diagnosis, a good assessment, and that way the therapy can be catered to what their diagnosis is, or the medicine can be catered to what their diagnosis is. And again, it's not just about, it's a holistic or a whole overall view of what they can do, whether it's, again, making sure they have enough sleep. Some people's anxiety is triggered by not having enough sleep at night, or their diet. If they notice that they're drinking, things that are highly caffeinated or things that have a lot of sugar, they may notice that this is also a trigger for their anxiety as well.
I think I'm one of those individuals. I have to be careful what I consume.
Yes.
What I want to do again, if this goes out, I would just want you to just come back in and come back in and read.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Okay.
I'm a true believer that when things are really powerful, it's always something to try to throw a little hiccup in there, but we don't let that stop us from moving forth. Again, it's Mental Awareness Month, and a lot of people are really not understanding why they're having these issues. What are some of the signs that a person could look for who don't know they have these problems?
So with whether you have, so we'll take, for instance, depression. So on average, most individuals are able to go to work, they're able to function at school, they're able to come home and cook a meal, clean their house, they're able to go out and pay their bills. So if you're noticing over a 2-week time span that you're feeling really tired, you don't really want to get out of bed, you're not motivated to do the things that you enjoy doing, you feel helpless or hopeless, you're calling in from work, or you're missing school dates, you're not performing well at work, not performing well at school, or if you're having thoughts of harming yourself or harming someone else. So not being able to do the things that you would normally do on a daily basis, but it's happening over a 2-week time span, or if it's even longer. So these are things that you want to come in and be evaluated for. Now, also, sometimes there are medical things that contribute to fatigue. So making sure that you get a good annual physical and looking at lab work. And we also do that as well. So when they come into our clinic, we also look at, let's see what's going on medically with that person, because we know certain conditions that are medical can also exacerbate fatigue. For instance, the person may be anemic, and so their iron or hemoglobin may be low. And so that's something that we check as well, because that can mimic depression, or their thyroid level may be abnormal.
Okay, so what's getting ready to happen? We're gonna go to a commercial break. I want
Okay.
you to just come back in as what we did in the beginning, and we're gonna
Okay.
continue on. So
Okay.
when it cuts off, we're going to do the commercial. I just want you to just come back right back in so we can continue. Okay.
Okay.
And for everybody that just joining in, this is People to People with Rodney Grimes. I have my guest, Miss Dr. Tiffany Tyson. And I kind of take that, I do that slow because we're in Tyson corner, so I got all Tyson, everything going on around me right now. But what's going to happen is shortly we're going to go to a commercial break, and then we're going to come right back with the doctor, and we're going to continue this powerful, powerful information that we're sharing with each and every one of you out there. We remember this is something that is very, very important for us to deal with, and we're going to talk a little more about her book as well. And it still haven't went into that situation yet, so I think we just keep on rolling until it does, or should we just try to go? Because you still with me, right?
I am.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna keep going, and when it does, then we'll take the commercial.
Okay.
Okay, so again, it's just been so crazy because of what we've been seeing going on. Even up here, outside of the shooting that was in Texas, we had a young individual killed outside of the school area yesterday, stabbed. A big fight. And one of the kids died. Then we had another young lady that was shot in the parking lot. The young girl had to be 12, 13, 14 years old, something of that, around that age. And it seems like nobody is really paying attention that our young people they're struggling with a real serious mental problem. And this is something that we really have to pay attention to, and we have to make a big difference. So for people that just joining in, please take this serious. This is and I want to ask you, doctor, do a lot of this starts at home, correct?
Well, there's a couple different triggers. Social media can be a trigger because, teens at that age, especially around 12, they're getting on social media and they're looking to see, well, okay, I'm going to post this post on my Instagram or my Snapchat, and I want to see how many likes I get. And so this can really play on your self-esteem. So if you don't get likes, or if you see someone else that's posting, oh, they're on vacation or they're hanging out with friends, and you're like, wow, okay, I wish I was doing that today, or wow, why don't I have that many friends? Or she looks great in this outfit. I feel fat now because I'm looking at this person in this particular post. And
Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have the doctor's going to come right back in. Again, what we would like to do is have everybody to just stay with us, and we're going to make this happen. So I think that it basically she's going to come back in, and when she does, we'll bring her back in. Remember, this is very, very serious. This is a very, very serious topic for us to deal with, and what we want to do is just let you know that it is important for us to really, really pay attention to what's going on. We got a lot of things that's going on with us in the community, and we're going to wait. The doctor is going to be. Let me see. I think I'm launching this show. Let me see. Let's see. We get this.
Real Talk Live with Rodney Grimes. People to people, power to power, positive thinking people. Yes, with Sir Rod and Lady Z. It's not about you, it's not about me, it's about we. In God we trust. Positive thinking people. Positive thinking people. Positive thinking people. Every Monday night, every Wednesday night, every Friday night, every Monday night, every Wednesday night. Real Talk Live with Rodney Grimes. People to people, power to power, positive thinking people. Yes, with Sir Rod and Lady Z. It's not about you, it's not about me, it's about we. In God we trust. Positive thinking people. Positive thinking people. Positive thinking people. Every Monday night, every Wednesday night, every Friday night, every Monday night.
Am I still receiving a link, or what are we about to do?
Okay, all right. So we're back live now. We're back on the air.
Not using Zoom.
And at this time we're not using Zoom. So we're gonna keep moving forward.
Okay.
Again, so dealing with this mental health situation right now, that's going on. I mean, it's not just in the situation with the children; it's with the parents too.
Correct.
Now, again, what would you suggest to the parents to be able to do to make a difference? To start addressing these different problems that these children are having.
So sometimes schools will have counseling sessions, and they'll have a session for the children as well as the parents and then the staff. But parents having dialogue with their children at home, and then also either the school providing an outside agency, behavioral health agency, to continue ongoing support, partner with a agency in the community, or either the parents, if they're noticing, checking in on their child daily to see how they're responding to this, if they're having those symptoms of irritability, or if they're having anxiety, or if they start not being able to sleep at night, there changes in their appetite. And I know school is almost out in some areas. I think kids are either have 2 days left or this week left, and then school is out. But continuing to process and check in with them to see what they're really feeling, and then how they're responding. And some kids may not be able to say verbally how they're feeling. So some individuals may be able to draw or write in a journal how they're feeling. So those are other ways of communication from a child, what they are experiencing or feeling after this type of situation.
I remember when I was in school, we had guidance counselors that would talk to different children when they had issues. I don't know if they still do that.
So they still have guidance counselors that are there, and sometimes the guidance counselor can come in and talk to the students as a group, and so that's beneficial as well. They'll talk to the students, the staff, and then they may need some additional support, is what I was mentioning, with partner with an outside agency. And we also, at our particular agency, we are within a high school, and so we actually do provide therapy at a high school in our area for children as well. And some schools have psychologists on staff also. So there's several different ways that the school can help with this particular incident. And then also provide, funding for additional resources, for additional training, to train staff, and then to maybe have, again, they may be starting summer school soon, but they may need to have some brief sessions during summer class if they decide to have summer classes back at the school, some brief sessions during summer school on how the kids are feeling and checking in with them as well.
Yeah. One of the things that, even with myself, I've been just looking at the way that when I watch the news and seeing, I remember something that you said earlier, that it might be a good idea for individuals not to really watch a lot of things that's going on that's, going on in the world that's so negative.
Well, again, I think it's good to be informed about what's going on, but to sit and watch it, daily, or to watch the 8 o'clock, the 12 o'clock, the 6 o'clock. Individuals need a break, because then it will start, it can trigger their anxiety or their depression, or if they don't have those things, it can cause some anxiety, because individuals may be concerned about, well, what does the future hold now? This has kind of happened in the last 2 weeks, so, and it kind of can make people lose hope. So I think it's important for them to take a break from, again, social media, to take a break from the news, and just kind of do other things. But it's important to be informed, to know what's going on, but then to know when to also take a break.
What I recalled a week or so ago, and I like to be very, very transparent with individuals, so that they know that, I don't try to give off this image like that everything is peaches and cream in my life. And I was having a meltdown myself, and it was based on just everything that was coming with me, from my health, from my job, from my personal life, from the studio. It was just so much, and I found myself that when I walked into the studio, someone greeted me, and they say, "How you doing?" And I couldn't answer them. And I realized at that point that I was overwhelmed.
Right.
And the thing that really got me is that I didn't know I was at that boiling point. And I'm thinking, just like what happened there, could that be what is happening with some of these individuals who is going out hurting people?
Well, so we have to remember that people that hurt people are hurting themselves. And so we don't know what this young man was dealing with. We don't know what his home life was like. We still don't know what his connection is with that particular school. Did he attend the school? Did he have, was he bullied at school? Or, again, if there's something currently going on with them. And so I think it's important for individuals, we have to be kind to one another, because you never know if that smile or that kind word or being courteous to someone will give that person some hope, or will help that person on that day if they're having a bad day. So we really don't know what his home life was like, and we really don't know, if he was dealing with mental illness, or if he was dealing with substance abuse. So we really still don't have a lot of information yet. And, sometimes detectives and things can go back. Again, going back to social media, sometimes people will leave blueprints about what kind of happened with them that week or that week before, or, sometimes they can go back and look at timelines to see what was kind of going on, what were they posting, what were they saying on some of their platforms. And I think it's important when you notice if your friend or your loved one, and they post something that's out of the norm, or that's disturbing, or if they send pictures, to reach out to them and to check on them to see how they're doing, or to kind of intervene, at that point or before that point, before they get to that point of sending something that's disturbing. And so, they may be able to piece together what was actually going on in his mind if they look back over the last couple of days or weeks of things that he was posting on social media. And obviously they'll have to talk to family and friends to kind of get a picture of what life was like for him.
And that's what's important for us to do, is we need to pay attention to different things that's going on with people when a person is starting to get real quiet.
Correct. Yeah.
If they're not eating, if they're starting to change their social behavior. All of these are things that we should be paying attention to, right?
Yes. How they're, again, if they're isolating themselves, again, if you're noticing certain posts, or how they respond to certain posts or certain things that they say, or pictures. And then if they're not eating, they're not socializing with other family members like they were normally doing. So again, checking in on them. And also, as you mentioned, checking in on yourself, as you get up in the morning, okay, let's do this checklist. How am I feeling today? Am I tired from last night? Do I have a headache? Am I feeling sad today? And then, looking at things of that nature, because, if you have a headache, wow, what did I eat last night? Did I eat a lot of salt intake? Is that why I have a headache today? Or so kind of doing a check-in on yourself every day as well.
I tell you, it's just amazing what's going on. One of the things that really, really bothered me, and that I saw there was an issue, and with society itself, right? We're in a time where everything is about a dollar bill. It's not about the relationship. And a lot of times, even when we go into the school system, it's not really about the children. It's about what's the budget. And these things that back in the day, when they had a little tiny school, the teacher was so personal with the individuals. They knew everybody's name, they knew everybody's parent. The children would come in, and if they had some little behavior problems to come up, the teacher would see it immediately and be able to address it. We're in a different time that it seems as though it's not really about us personally anymore.
We are definitely in a different time, and then we have to look at, too, sometimes, I think we're sometimes caught up in cultural things, and, this person doesn't look like me. I don't know if I could, talk to them, or, so it's so many different things that are going on right now.
I tell you, and that's something that's really, really important for us to pay attention to, what's going on around in our environments. For everybody that's tuning in, this is People with Rodney Grimes. Thank you for hanging out with us. We have Dr. Tiffany Tyson. She is a phenomenal individual who deal with people with anxiety and depression and things of some of the things that we've been talking about all month. Dr. Tyson, you also, again, I want to get back on your book again. So your book, okay. When people read your book, will this be like a guideline to help them to be able to manage themselves if they're in a crisis, dealing with a mental breakdown or a situation?
So this is a unique book. So it's actually a collaboration of stories from 7 different ladies. And so the first story is from the visionary who actually helped put the project together. And so last year, she was, dealing with some things in her life, and so as a child, and she realized, I need to talk about this, I need to get this out. And so she had suffered some abuse as a child growing up, and so she wrote her book entitled The Comeback, Reclaiming My Life, and she thought, wow, this was very rejuvenating for her, this was very healing for her, and she said, wow, what if other women want to talk about what happened to them? And so one of the other ladies in the book talks about homelessness and what she was dealing with at the time. And one individual talks about addictions. There's another one talking about domestic violence. And so each woman is kind of telling her story. And then I have the final chapter where I come in and talk about, even though individuals have experienced trauma, first I talk a little bit about what the body, what people experience physically from trauma, because trauma affects us emotionally, physically, as well as mentally. Sometimes when we've been dealt with an incident that we didn't know what was going to happen, we start to even negative self-talk in our own head. Our self-esteem is low, and we start to realize that, you feel worthless sometimes when someone have dealt with trauma. And so I talk a little bit about what the body, what the mind goes through, and what the physical body goes through for individuals who have experienced trauma. And then my chapter, I also talk about intergenerational trauma, because some things have happened that have been passed down from generation to generation, like, for instance, domestic violence. Like, some individuals grow up in a domestic violence situation, whether it's the mom is abusing the dad or vice versa, because it can also happen with men. And sometimes individuals that grow up in that environment, sometimes they, even though, they may want to have a different type of relationship, but somehow they end up with an individual because of what they've seen that talks negatively to them. They're controlling, they're manipulative, and so it can be a cycle. And so my chapter talks about how to break that cycle if you're dealing with intergenerational trauma. And it also talks about, as you mentioned, different forms of treatment to help people overcome their trauma. And then some of the ladies also in their chapters, they talk about specifically what they did to help them overcome their particular trauma that they were experiencing. And as I mentioned earlier, there's no one size fits all for how someone needs to heal from trauma. And there's different types of therapy. There's cognitive behavioral therapy. There's cognitive processing. There's so many different therapies, and so the clinician that's working with that individual, it's a collaborative approach. So the individual kind of shares with the person, and realizing when a trauma first happens, it's hard for people to open up to someone about what happened because there's shame, there's guilt. The individual, they feel like it's their fault, but it's not their fault that these things happen to them. And so as the relationship goes on, there has to be a level of trust and with the clinician and with the individual that's coming in to be seen. And once that trust is established, that person can begin to open up more about what really happened. And so that way the clinician can take the right type of treatment based on what that individual wants to do, based on that type of the individual's thought processes. And again, I'm mentioning, sleep and getting those, because we all have to take care of ourselves. So getting sleep or making sure we have adequate hydration, getting exercise. And some people need faith-based treatment. They need to return back to their faith, back to prayer, back to church, especially if they were dealing with a trauma or even anxiety. There's scriptures in the Bible that relate to anxiety. There's scriptures in the Bible that relate to depression. So returning back to their faith, and as I mentioned earlier, meditation. And so what I do for meditation may be different from what you do for meditation. Some people want to do yoga. Some people may want to read the Bible, or some people may want to pray, or some people just may want to sit and just have a quiet moment. Sometimes we're so caught up in everything that's going on and checking our phones and our social media, looking at our calendars. Oh, I got to be here, I got to be there. But sometimes just sitting and just having a moment of silence. And so that way you have time to gather your thoughts and really process the day and also process what you're grateful for, in your life. But just taking time out to just recollect yourself and just, have a moment of silence.
Yes, I tell you, it's amazing where we are right now with what's going on. We did send another link back to you. So,
Okay.
did you get it?
No. Let's see. Did you send that to my email or to
So
my
we sent it to your email.
phone?
To your
Okay,
email.
let's see here.
So everyone that just joined in with us, we are talking with Dr. Tiffany Tyson. She's a phenomenal individual who deal with depression, deal with anxiety, and we've been talking to her and just trying to bring awareness to everything that's going on with different people as far as this mental health issue. She also has a book. Dr. Tyson, you still can hear me, correct?
I can.
What's the name of your book?
It's entitled Reclaiming My Life.
Reclaiming My Life. I like that. That's what, honestly, that's what I call myself doing. Reclaiming my life. I've been doing just that. So, are you able to? Oh, here you go, right here. We got everything going on. Did you get the link to get back in yet?
I did. I'm trying to see if I can reconnect now.
Okay. All right. So, again, while you're doing that, I want to talk a little bit about these things that took place. As we know, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's so many things that done happened within the last month that really put us in a very, very awkward situation. And the Robb Elementary School in Texas where those kids were killed yesterday. It was 19 killed, 2 teachers. It's just phenomenal for us not to be aware of what's going on in our communities, in our homes, in the schools, all over, where we're having these mental breakdowns. I'm still talking because what I'm doing is waiting to see if it'll come in and I can pull you in back in so that they physically can see you. You still with me,
Okay.
Dr. Tyson?
I'm still here.
So again, how do someone purchase your book?
Okay, so the book is available. I can, share the link. It's available on Amazon, but I still have a link as well.
Okay. And I know you're still trying to get back in on the Zoom.
Yeah.
Go ahead, just make it happen. So again, what I wanted to do is I just wanted to throw out while you're doing that, I'm gonna talk about a few things that just didn't happen. Just in 2021, there was 34 different shootings. That is crazy for that to be that many individuals to go through that. And I mean, it's really crazy. There we go. We got you back. Can you see me?
Let's see, not yet.
I can see you.
You can see me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, there you are.
Okay. All right. Again, it's just where we are right now with all the things that have been taking place. It is just phenomenal. What's happening. So, with your book, again, will this be like? See, some people have problem. Is it easy reading? That's what I wanted to ask you. Is it easy reading? Oh, I can't hear you. Oh. Okay, wait a minute. I lost the sound over here somewhere. What happened when you took me out of there? Okay, stay there with me. Stay there with me. I got my. Oh, that's probably. Okay. Okay. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, turn her up just a little bit. Okay. Can you say that again?
I can.
Okay, there you go. All right. All right. I just said we have graduated from one level to another. We still encounter some things. We are set up in the studio to really do a lot of live interviews. So please accept my apology. I know you're a professional woman, and I do this continuously. I was watching. I'm going to go another direction for a minute. I was watching Ellen and Oprah. And Ellen was interviewing Oprah, and they were talking about how they was building their platform and got to where they became really successful. And one of the things that I realized is this, and this got to do with mental health. I want to show you how this works. A lot of people take on a lot of things in their life, and it be something new, and they love doing it, but it doesn't turn out all the time the way they want it to. And sometimes that can put anxiety on you. That can put a lot of pressure on you. So a lot of people got to understand, us individually, sometimes, like you said, you have to get that time where you meditate, where you you get back into self and start treating self good, and don't punish yourself because it doesn't turn out the way you want it all the time.
Correct. Don't punish yourself because of failures that you may have. Yes. But learn from those, learn from the challenges, and so that way you grow,
That's really important. And for the viewers, please, let me tell you something. This is not an easy process. I know writing your book wasn't an easy process. For you to get your doctor's title wasn't an easy process. For me to become a worldwide producer and talk show host is not an easy process either. But what I will not do is I will not give in, and I'm not giving in to the mental struggles. You know, for a lot of people, you were saying prayer, getting back into the things that really kind of calm your nerves, meditation, yoga. All of these things are very important. But something else, Dr. Tyson, what about individuals who really they don't know how to reach out to somebody? What would you suggest to them?
So for individuals that don't know how to reach out to someone, activities like we're doing tonight, this is your new role that you're doing. You're running a podcast. So I encourage people to stay active, to get moving, whether it's walking in your park, a safe park, or walking within your house, doing something that you enjoy doing, whether it's crocheting, whether it's knitting. You know, we are so connected now virtually. You can join in a virtual knitting class or virtual cooking class, or there's so many things that are afforded to us now because of social media and the internet. You know, individuals that don't want to go back in church in person, you can now join different church ministries online. But so I encourage people, because we are all human beings and we realize that humans do need some type of social interaction, whether it's, seeing someone virtually, whether seeing someone FaceTime or in person. We actually do need that human contact.
And that's very important. Many people that I know that's in my family, one of the things that I've been trying to do is be an example for individuals to let them know, we all have trials and tribulations in which we have to deal with, but there is a solution. This is not the end of the road because you have a problem with depression or anxiety. Do you highly recommend people going and getting on medication and putting their children on it?
Well, again, everybody's treatment journey is different. So the first thing is establishing that, wow, I have something going on with myself. Because sometimes individuals can be in denial. So first establishing that there is something going on, whether it's you're not sleeping well, you have changes in your appetite, you're feeling tired all the time, you're irritable all the time, so that you're always, yelling at the kids, or, you're snapping at your husband. So realizing that, hey, and sometimes people don't see that within themselves. They may have a loved one or someone may say, hey, have you noticed that you've been doing such and such a lot lately? Again, first starting that dialogue there. And then you can start actually with your primary care provider. Hey, I'm noticing that I'm having some changes with this. And again, doing that lab workup to see if there's something medical that's going on. And then kind of going from there. And nowadays, because there's such a stigma of individuals going to a behavioral health office, mental health care can actually start within your primary care provider's office. And then sometimes they'll do the initial workup with the lab work. And then if it's something that's medical, they may resolve the medical issue. But then if they resolve the medical issue and there's still something going on, whether it's fatigue or I'm feeling sad all the time, they may start treatment there. Or they may, say, hey, I'm going to recommend you see a therapist. So it's not always about putting someone on a medication. Again, well-being is not just about taking a pill. The same thing with your diabetes or your high blood pressure. So individuals that have diabetes or high blood pressure, they may take a pill, but then they may go out and say, well, I'm going to, I know I have high cholesterol, but I'm going to go have this Big Mac and these fries and this shake. So again, it's a holistic way. It's not just say, I'm going to take this medicine one and I'm done. It's also making sure that, hey, I have this high cholesterol. I need to eat better. I need to eat less fried foods. I need to drink less soft drinks and things of that nature. So it's a holistic way. Some people do really well if they, balance their life. Again, going back to feeling overwhelmed. Wow, I realize if I have this to do, I get anxious or I get moody. So I need to realize I need to balance what I'm doing in my life. Maybe I don't need to take on all these projects. Hey, I may want to be, go and help out with summer camp or this. I may want to volunteer, but, I got to realize I got to do this over here. So it's all about, work life and life balances, not taking on too many things that make you feel overwhelmed. So knowing what your capacity is, knowing when you need to say, okay, I need to say no to this right here because I need to take care of my mental health. And so it's knowing when to say no, knowing how to set time management. I'm going to do this at this particular time, or, with students in class, I have this paper that's due in 2 weeks. So instead of me waiting to the deadline, I'm going to go ahead and start doing my research and getting my paper together and doing my outline. And so that way, I'm not waiting till the night before where I'm like pushing. It's like my heart's racing. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling sweaty because I'm overwhelmed. So some of this is just really learning how to manage our schedules and time management and learning when to say no. And so that's part of self-care as well.
That's one of the issues that I have. I do not know how to say no. That's something that I've been struggling with all my life. I'm a people pleaser, and that put more stress on me than anything, trying to please everybody. I've gotten to the point that that's what I've been doing. Is I'm in a fast right now, and my fast is not a food fast. My fast is a fast me building my relationship with God. I'm just
Wonderful.
constantly I'm in prayer. It's every time something negative happen, I'm leaning on God.
Yes. Yes.
I'm at a point where I'm not going to, even with the little glitch today. I can't get upset anymore. Not right now. Not doing this fast, because I said to myself, what I'm going to do is to concentrate on building that relationship with myself, for love, for understanding, and peace of mind. And I know I'm not supposed to talk about my fast, but the reason why I said that is because there's some people out there that I'm telling you, doing these things are the things that you may need to do in order for you to find some stability to be able to get back on track.
Yes. Yes.
So, for many people who just joining in, I have Dr. Tyson on, and the name of your book again is Reclaiming
My Life.
Reclaiming My Life. And Dr. Tyson, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to do a program on. That's going to be the title, Reclaiming My Life. What I'm going to have to do is reach out to you, because I'm going to get your book. I want to use the book so that I'll be able to help promote it and let people know that we have tools to help us to move forward. And I really want to say thank you for taking the time. See, people don't understand. People think sometimes you writing a book is just you. That's just something you do. But when it's individuals like yourself, you're writing books to give us information.
Right.
And it's very important for us to support you in that area so that we can keep having individuals like yourself who can give us answers to keep feeling comfortable doing this and sharing your information. So, it's all about us. It takes one to teach one, but we got to keep helping one another. I know that it wasn't easy. I know what you're doing as far as you having patience and people you're dealing with on a regular basis, and then you writing a book, and ain't no telling what else goes on in your life. And so I just say thank you so much for you being a giving person. That's something I just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you again. Thank you for inviting me back on the show.
I want you to know that we have a really beautiful setup here. I can't wait to bring y'all in physically, right? Y'all, I'm going to spoil you rotten. I promise you. You're going to be like, and this, you're going to really, really have a good time. It's a beautiful setup. Everything is nice. It's really professional. I just so excited about being able to have individuals like you that I can share with other people, because these families that lost their children, their loved ones, they need people like you. They need people like you in their life. So we got 5 minutes left. I want you to have that 5 minutes to talk. You want to talk about your book. You want to get a message out. You got the last 5 minutes.
Okay. So I just want to say, take time to be kind to yourself. Stop comparing yourselves to other people, what you see on social media, what your neighbors have. We have to learn how to be kind to ourselves. If there's certain things that you wouldn't say to someone else, you wouldn't tell your best girlfriend or your neighbor across the street, girl, that dress doesn't do anything for you. So why would you tell yourself that when you look at yourself in the mirror in the morning? So even though, like you said earlier, life is not perfect. We all have challenges, but regardless of what has happened to you in your life, you can get back up again. There is hope. Yes, it may take some time to heal from what has happened, but you can overcome through support. Support can come in different ways. Support can come from your family, your friends, your church family, a sister circle, or a group of gentlemen that you spend time with if you're a male. And so it's important to have some type of social support. So someone, that's there, that's praying for you, that's offering encouragement for you, and that's inspiring when you're feeling down, when you feel like you can't pray for yourself. This person is your backbone or your support. And you'd be surprised where your support may come from. And remember to always be kind to others, because you never know what individuals are dealing with. You never know what type of home environment they have. You never know if that kind word or that smile that you may say to them may give them hope to say, hey, things may be tough at home, but wow, this person, said these kind words to me, or, this person smiled at me, or this person sent me this wonderful positive text message. I was feeling bad today. So be kind to yourself, but also be kind to others around you.
I love that. And that's something that we all need to pay attention to and learn how to do that. First of all, loving ourselves and being kind to others, for sure. I'm excited about, I want to get your book. I want to be able to, when y'all come in July, I want to be able to really, really talk about that book and be able to share with individuals. We have Motivation Monday and Let's Talk About It Wednesday, and we also have Date Night Friday. And a lot of the authors that come in, we constantly promote the books. I have them in the studio, and periodically I go back and go through them and talk about them. So I will be making arrangements again to get the information. You said we can get your book through Amazon, correct?
Yes, but I'm also going to send you another link as well.
Okay. So what I want you to do is you're going to send me that. I'm going to be talking about your book throughout the week. I'm going into the next week, and I'm going to do everything to really promote it and let people know, because we have this mental awareness situation. That's something that's going to be talked about, especially after what just happened yesterday.
Yes, and it's hard to talk about these things. That's why I said some of the stories that the ladies talk about in the book. It's hard to actually talk about these things, especially when they happen. But sometimes talking about them can help you heal, can also help other people, because, hey, they may be like, wow, I didn't know that person was going through that. I'm dealing with the same thing. And so hearing their story again, how they were able to overcome, can help you overcome as well.
And that's what a lot of people have to know. Believe me, rich people have problems. Rich people have mental issues, depression, and so forth and so on, just like poor people. And
Correct. There is no mental illness, does not have a zip code, does not have a title, does not have a gender, does not have a race, does not have a culture. Mental illness can affect anyone. It can affect anyone.
You are such a blessing. I know that your family and friends are very, very proud of you. I am. I'm just excited about where we are today, and I want to thank you for joining the program. And again, and this is not gonna be your last time. So don't run out on me, okay?
Okay. Thank you again for having me back on the show. I enjoyed, as always, being on the show. Thank you guys for all your support as well.
And we're gonna be promoting your book, is Reclaiming
My Life.
Reclaiming My Life.
Yes.
So this is Dr. Tiffany Tyson. She has a book. What's the name of your first book?
Oh, so one of the book is Urban Princess, The Power of Choice. The other book is Billy the Bully, Patty Fix It. Also, check out our website, TysonMultimedia.com. We offer programming for youth. We're actually next week we're going to be talking more about social media, because that's really an issue right now, and how kids relate to social media and how they feel about themselves. So we're actually doing a webinar for youth related to social media, and how they can use it for positive, and how sometimes it can be negative, and then what to do if it's becoming negative for your teen or your young person. So so check our website out, TysonMultimedia.com. Our phone number is 252-281-4884. And also, if you're in the North Carolina area, if you need services, OIC Behavioral Health, 252-212-3350. OICBehaviorHealth.org is also the site for that as well. Yeah, so check our website.
Okay, thank you again. And I don't like things to cut off on you or cut off on me. And so we thank all our audience that joined in, and we thank you so much, Dr. Tyson. And we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you. Have a blessed evening.
God bless you.
Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen that joined in, this is People to People with Rodney Grimes. I thank you so much for your support. We definitely want you to check out Dr. Tyson's book, Reclaiming My Life. Okay, a lot of us, we need different things and tools to move forward. I highly recommend that you purchase the book. We're going to be doing everything to get information out on different things that's going to be able to help individuals move forth that are dealing with mental issues. I'm not a doctor. That's why I have individuals like Dr. Tyson to come on, that they have these titles. But what I do is I get the information. I tell people I'm not a teacher nor a preacher. I'm just a motivational speaker. And when I say that, that's because I love you, and I like to motivate people to try to change their life so that they can live a comfortable life. This is People to People, Power to Power, Positive Thinking People. Peace and blessings.
I'm still here. Yes. Yes. Okay. 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 I just sent you the link for that.